Just turning the weather on here for your visit.
Yeah, this is not exactly what I had in mind when I thought, oh, we're going to go to Bronte and hang out, and it's going to be brilliant. We're going to by the beach.
Yeah. Sydney beaches are a lot wetter than what we're used to, yeah.
Brave hell to get this to ya!
You are now listening to the Big Data Beard.
So, Jimmy Niggles, welcome to the Big Data Beard podcast.
G'day.
We're glad to have you on. In fairness, I've been kind of part of the beard season movement for a while, and I couldn't be more excited to just spend some time with you in your native country, in your hometown.
This is awesome. What a better place to meet. It's fantastic.
Yeah, now I will say, thinking that it was summer, I thought for certain that we would end this and then be going to grab some surfboards and head out.
Yeah.
But it's not panning out that direction today.
Yeah. That's all right. Next time. It could be like the 50-year storm in Point Break.
Oh.
And we can paddle to New Zealand.
There you go. Can I please be Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
I like where this is going. This is
going to go well. Oh, now you're getting rained on, bro. That's coming in on you. I like it.
Yeah. We're risking life and limb to bring this broadcast to you right now, so you better listen up.
That's right.
We care.
So Jimmy, tell our listeners about what beard season is all about and why you started it.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing us on. This is fantastic. Bringing the world together through the power of our beards.
That's right.
So, as you know, these guys have incredible beards, and I have a beard as well. And I suppose I'm kind of on a mission to make beards stand for something, bigger than just not shaving or looking like a legend. I lost one of my mates to melanoma. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's one of the deadliest forms of, or it's the deadliest form of skin cancer, and it kills about nearly 2,000 people a year in Australia and one person every hour in America.
Wow.
That's where most of you people are from, America. Yeah. And in England, it's massive as well. But basically, he was 26 when he died, and it was just such a fucked thing to happen to anyone. But we just had no idea that it affected people that young.
Yeah.
And he wasn't someone that tanned or was pretty sun safe. So at his funeral, we decided to do something, and that something turned into beard season, which is a challenge every winter to gentlemen to grow their beard. Commit to growing the beard, commit to getting a skin check, and then using their beard as a life-saving conversation starter to challenge as many people as they can to get a skin check as well.
Yeah.
And it just started out between a group of mates 8 years ago, 2010. Wes passed away. And each winter it's been growing, and we now save a life a week.
Wow. Really?
Because of someone that's written in saying they've found something. So, yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing as to see it grow over the last 8 years. It's been really, really good. Yeah.
So I've seen this, we follow you on Instagram and you're pretty active in social media, but I see it, you post a lot about the $1 million beard. So now while I am standing in front of you and can see it is $1 million beard, but I think this is more symbolic and a goal statement. Tell me about what $1 million beard means.
Yeah, so after that first winter, it was only a handful of us that did it, but I had 6 people write to me saying that they met me at a beach or met me at the bar or wherever. They got a skin check and found something which could have killed them, and that for me was a massive kind of shock. It was like a big realization that this crazy idea was actually working, and my beard literally saved lives. So, good rig.
That's a cool rig.
That I might keep my beard and use it as a bit of a motivation for me to keep the idea alive, because this whole thing's been a side kind of hustle for the last 8 years, and the beard was basically a daily reminder that this idea is worth it. I should keep it going, and I've kept it ever since. And I realized a few years ago that I can't just shave this thing off. It's come so far.
Yeah.
So I decided, we're a charity now, and it's growing so much, but we kind of need funds to be able to amp things up. So I figured instead of asking people for money, why don't I ask someone for money?
Yeah.
And bring on a really amazing partner to team up with to take us to the next level. So I put my beard up for sale for $1 million, and the PR and the coverage has been incredible. We've been covered by, every media company under the sun. Yeah. But the market, as you might agree, is pretty limited for a beard. But I've been on a mission over the last few years to just get it out there and make it as valuable and as famous as possible.
Yeah.
And we may have found someone.
Really?
Whoa.
So the $1 million isn't just like, hey, I just want to sell my beard for $1 million so I can go back to shaving. That's not what it's about.
Yeah,
like the $1 million will be put to use for an incredible use, right?
Yeah. So the goal is to make beard season sustainable as an organisation, as a yearly challenge for people, because the amount of people that reaches is already huge, and we do it with no money. Yeah. So it'd be really awesome to see what that can turn into. And then the other side of it is I call it action and awareness. So the action side of it is basically us checking people, and we've been trialing this kind of program. And I want to have a national skin check program targeted to places where it's most needed. So we've been doing it at Hamilton Island Race Week, which is the biggest kind of sailing regatta in the Southern Hemisphere. And last year we checked 700 people and found 532 suspect lesions and 75 confirmed cases of melanoma.
So 10% of the population of people that you checked, more than that, had issues, and many of them were actual melanoma.
Yeah. And then on top of that, there would have been a heap more skin cancers as well. So, it's mind-blowing the amount of the statistics that we're getting from these actual clinics. And we'd love to be able to roll that out to places all around the country, and hopefully, places like America, and England and Europe,
any of those
down
sunny
the track,
any of those sunny places where people are suffering. Yeah. So so melanoma scares the fire out of me, and I think rightfully so. Clearly, and you're living proof that it can be effective to your own person and friend. Right? That's awful. But how often should we be getting checked? As from an awareness perspective for people. I know until I found you guys, I hadn't even thought about it. Yeah. And went and got checked, right? Yeah. And ended up finding something which was suspect. And but how often should we be getting these checks for melanoma?
Well, we recommend once a year, and winter is apparently the best time to get checked because it's easier for the doctor to find a suspect looking spot. And also, if you need to get something operated on, it's not going to get aggravated by the sun the next weekend, So winter's the best time, which is great because that's beard season. Yeah. And it's kind of a time when people aren't really thinking about the sun. And if we can kind of get people to see their doctor at least once a year, that time of year is the best time to do it. And, once a year is usually good. I try and do it at least at the end of winter and after summer. Yep. So I kind of know what to keep an eye on. Yeah. And a really good doctor will be able to point out things that you need to watch.
Now, the biggest thing we hear out of people is just the biggest excuse is I don't have enough time.
Yeah, exactly.
How much time does it take for a regular skin check? Is there a real excuse there? Or?
Yeah, well, it's pretty annoying, and I would have used that excuse before this happened to Wes, because it takes time out of your day, and you got to make the appointment and blah blah blah. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes.
That's it.
So it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it might sound like a massive hassle, but seriously, that 15 to 20 minutes could save your life, or it could save you from having any time left at all.
Yeah, so it's not a big ordeal at all.
And it's awesome for us to do these free clinics because we do it at beaches, we do it at festivals, sporting events, and we just get people in between beers coming in and having a check for 15 minutes and walking out knowing that they're either okay or they need to have something operated on. And so it's good to be able to put it in front of people at a time when it's really convenient, but also to kind of reinforce that it's not scary, it doesn't take that long, and it could seriously save your life.
Yeah, I think one thing I took from it too is like it affects people that are still sun safe. So like even if you're wearing a hat and wearing sunscreen and doing all the right things,
and skin types as well.
Yeah,
like Bob Marley died from melanoma in between his toes. So like I've walked into a doctor before and they've said, no, you've got dark olive skin. You don't worry. And there's a lot of doctors out there like that. So we really recommend seeing a skin specialist. And if you can get a referral for that, it might be covered through your healthcare or whatever. But get someone who really knows what they're doing and get them to use a dermatoscope, which is like a epic kind of microscope that sees layers into your skin, and it's really I just literally came from a TV show where we went on screen and did a live skin check on one of the hosts.
Okay, and
he found a basal cell carcinoma on his shoulder.
Really?
During the live broadcast. And that's what Hugh Jackman had on his nose.
That's a wake up call, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. He was like, "What? Oh, hold on."
Yeah, I mean,
my gosh!
Stop the camera. Like he walks out to go.
Yeah,
man, it's legit too because like you get it in places you wouldn't think. My sister actually had basal cell carcinoma on her scalp, like under her hair.
Oh my god!
And it ended up getting like pretty large, and they had to scallop up a bunch of her head. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I've heard people say that you might get burnt on your shoulders or whatever, but it can pop up on your leg. Like it's such a weird beast. That it's like, and I met a girl the other day. Her sister had a melanoma in her uterus.
What?
I don't know how she was sunbaking, but like, it was. These things are so random, and you really need to like. If you think you're okay, like, just don't take
assume.
that. Yeah.
Well, because I mean, the thing you talked about, you did 700 checks on the beach and more than 70 legitimate cases.
Yeah.
Were found. That's a crazy number.
Huge. So yeah, and we focused on early detection because we found no one was doing that, and we found melanoma is one of the easiest to treat, most successful to treat cancers if it's found early. Like if you have pancreatic cancer or breast cancer, or like it's pretty hard to actually find that stuff until there's massive signs of it. Like
it's probably metastasized to something else, and you're way down the road.
Yeah, you're way down the road already. But if you get onto this early, you're really ahead of the game, and your chances of survival are a lot higher. So,
cancer sucks as much as anything can suck on the planet. I agree, and if we can prevent one, like this is one, like you got to fight it.
Yeah.
So, along the way, like you've had some great victories of helping people, like. And I see you promote a bunch of them. Like, what's your favorite? Like, what's one that stands out in your mind in terms of like a beard season victory that's made you like epically proud?
Okay, well, a lot over the last like years and years and years we've been doing this. I find manifesting has been a very good, because it's been a side hustle and because we haven't had any resources. I find that doing things like this and saying, I'd love to meet blah blah blah, someone listening might know, like if I go, I'd love to meet ZZ Top and get them to write a theme song for the $1 Million Beard to increase its value. Someone out there listening might know ZZ Top and hook us up, and it might be happening in a month's time. And so I kind of did that, saying, if I'm going to grow one of the best beards in the world, I want to meet the best beard in business. And I said I want to meet Richard Branson. So he came to Sydney a couple of years ago, and a friend of a friend told someone that he was at a hotel, and if I was going to meet him, that was a chance. Yeah. And so I was on the way to an event, so I had everything. I was wearing my Akubra hat, and I like in a suit. I had like a magazine I was on the front cover of. I had everything. Like it couldn't have been better.
Yeah.
And so I ran. This guy was like, "Run! Like you're here now, go!" So I ran to this hotel, and he came out of this meeting room and said, "Okay, I'm just going to go upstairs and get changed. I'll be back down in 10." And I'm there just like starstruck, just couldn't like mouth wide open.
Richard Branson.
Yeah. Like this is him. He's actually here right in front of me. And so I was like, fuck, this is it. So I talked to his people and I said, "Was that Richard?" And they were like, "Yes." And so I'd made an introduction to them and said, I've always wanted to meet him. This is why. And they said, "Yeah, just say hello." So when he came down, elevator open, he's standing there. He's like, "Okay, let's go." I get up. I'm shaking like a twig in a hurricane. And I'm like, "G'day, Sir Richard. I'm Jimmy Niggles. I've wanted to meet you forever. Since I've had this beard. My friend died from melanoma, and I've been using this beard to tell people to get a skin check. And every time I do, I get a photo with them. Can I get a photo with you?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And I told him, about the melanoma and all this kind of stuff. And a month later, his office got in touch and said he'd love to be an ambassador. He can't buy the beard, but can we do an article on virgin.com? I said, yes.
Yeah.
And then last year, I got invited to this kind of leadership thing at Necker Island with Richard Branson for a week. And as soon as we kind of got there that first night, he like stopped the conversation at the bar. People were like crawling all over him and leant over and said, Jimmy, thank you so much for introducing yourself to me in Sydney that time. I went and got a check and found something on my shoulder that I had no idea about.
Wow.
And it's really good to have you here.
Wow.
And that for me, I was like, wow. Like that just happened. This
That's
epic,
so big.
iconic business leader, and like I kind of, the idea of you can do it, basically might have saved him because of that simple chat. And if we can encourage all our ambassadors to do that, there's no limit to where this thing can go. So that for me was a good moment.
That's an amazing one. So really, at the end of the day, to be an ambassador, it's not hard, right? You really have to grow a beard during winter, which we encourage growing beards year-round in general. That's the thing. But when you have a beard, use it for when somebody says, hey, man, like that's a strong-looking head you got on your face there.
Yeah.
Like,
you go, thank you, it can save your life.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what? Because most people, I'm sure you agree, people will go, great beard, do you get food stuck in it? How often do you wash it? Blah, blah, how long have you had it? All this stuff.
How long did it take you to grow that, man?
Turning those like boring conversations into something which could have the power to save someone's life.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome thing. And it's so simple, like you say. It's like, thank you. Well, did you know it could save your life? And they're like, what? And they're like, well, I'm doing it because I'm an ambassador for beard season and I got a skin check. When was your last skin check? And they're like, what? And then you just tell them why it's so important. And then, they might get back in touch with you and say, mate, could have saved me.
I'm Richard Branson. You say you may have saved my life. Like, how incredible is that?
It's so simple but so huge. It's great.
And then ideally, I'd just like every time someone sees a beard, then they get reminded, fuck, when did I last have a skin check?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it could. And the more people we get on board, the bigger it gets. And I'm not asking for money off people. I'm just asking for that action once a year. Get a check, and if beards can be the vehicle for that, then that'd be amazing.
That's awesome, man. Now this journey you've been on over the last 8 years. I mean, you've met people like Richard Branson. I saw the other day you were in L.A. and you had a chance to meet Mel Gibson. How crazy is that guy?
He was good. Well, that was actually in Australia.
Oh, it was.
But,
sorry, my bad.
My friend actually met him that week about something else. But he's amazing. He had a pretty good beard.
Did he?
A while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to. I did a few things in LA. I did to kind of classic, like I did a beach run down Venice Beach with the Baywatch thing, slow motion.
The beard just flapping in the wind.
Yeah. I busted through. I went on the set of Seinfeld and did like a Kramer entrance through the door. I'm just trying to meet the people who insured J-Lo's ass to see if they could insure my beard.
And how'd that go? Or is it insured?
No, it's going to happen, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then, I had a meeting with someone who has had an experience with skin cancer, and they've had a beard. They're like massive superstars. So if we can line them up as part of that trip, then I'll be very, very happy. We've got a plan of attack, and he knows about it. And he likes the idea, so I just got to like convert that.
Well,
but it's been interesting.
We hope he does. Now, one of the things that I noticed, so it is an incredible beard, and you've grown. It's full. It's great. You've been in a countless number of pictures that have been turned into like some of the best beard memes on Instagram. What's that like? What's it like to like see like because they're just like copying it off the web or whatever. What's it like to see your beard all over the place?
It's pretty funny. I mean, so we took this photo a few years ago when I moved to Sydney, and. Yeah, like it got picked up on Reddit and had like 500,000 reposts in like a few hours. And some kid he made a meme. It was like, he who shaves his beard for a woman deserves neither. And then there was another one. It was like, my favourite ship overrun by pirates, still the captain. And there was other ones. Like, yeah, it's everywhere. And then it got like put on. There was like murals in Spain and like coffee cups in the Greek islands. My friend found my face on this coffee cup set, and then like people have my head like literally tattooed on their like hands and legs, and like and shit t-shirts, and it's been ripped off so much. But so the guy who took that photo, he said, "Look, mate, like we need to put a stake in the ground and say, you know, there's a reason behind all these amazing images," and his images are incredible. So we did a deck of we wanted to make a deck of playing cards.
Yeah.
And so we ended up putting these pictures out, but we didn't tell anyone what we were doing it for because we thought the idea might get stolen. And as soon as we started posting these images, people started applying. He ended up going through 2,500 applications to get their portrait taken, and people were flying on their own money to come to London to get their picture taken. We ended up doing a big series of 80, I think, portraits, which were exhibited at Somerset House, which is right on the River Thames, in the middle of London, one of the best galleries in the UK. And we had 35,000 people come to the exhibition in 3 weeks, and we had people lining up not only to get into the exhibition but to see individual pictures. We had people lining up, and it was huge. And it was a really good like statement that, you know, for the last 8 years we've been pioneering kind of why beards are so fucking cool and why everyone should grow a beard and why. And it's been amazing to watch the trend. But yeah, these images are amazing. So yeah, that was a good moment.
So a little secret here.
Yeah.
The Four of Hearts was actually the first epic beard that was on the show. So Taylor Weldon.
Really? Oh, Taylor's amazing. I love Taylor. Yeah.
So Taylor was on the show with us a couple months ago because he's quite the rambler. And actually, Kyle and I were in Lockhart, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, eating some incredibly good barbecue, and he walked in, and I'm like, dude, because I'd seen him on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, that's like the U.S. national beard champion. He just walked in, so I walked up to him, I'm like, dude, and kind of like the twig in the hurricane. I was kind of like fangirling, like, oh, I'm so excited.
Sweating a little bit. It was, I've never seen somebody get so excited.
Yeah, it's awkward. I'm apparently at that age I get that excited about bearded men, but that's fine. So I went up to the guy, and I'm like, hey man, like we do this show. It's it's about technology mostly, but like we also most of us have beards, and I would love to have a beard chat with you. And so we did. We had a great chat. So when I saw those cards, I was like, oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
No, so are they still available? Can you are you selling them?
Yeah, I've got a heap in my apartment just up the road.
Nice. Yeah. We just sell those to raise some money for beard season. That'll be good.
Yeah, grab yourself a pack.
Oh, that's awesome.
Christmas is coming up.
That's incredible. So using the beard for good is obviously important, and I think when people have a personal connection, like if they've had somebody that's been faced with melanoma in their family or friend circle, that's probably easier. But one of the things that always comes up when you have the beard conversation, like one of that I always I'm curious is like grooming, man. Like like this thing is I've been growing a beard for about probably 5-6 years, and everybody's got their own style of grooming. But I don't know, like, is there one, like, what's your thing? Are you a balm guy, an oil guy? Like, is there, what's your strategy?
Well, because I put myself in this corner, I've never trimmed it. The only time was when Richard Branson chopped the end off with a bar knife, which we turned into a paintbrush, which we're doing a big artwork series with. But that wasn't a very clean cut either. He was, like, hacking it away. It was like, and I've never trimmed it. So it's kind of wiry and wild. Yeah. So it's probably not the best example of a beard, but like a neatly trimmed hedge, like you both have a good amount of body. I've just let this one run wild, but I kind of I've tried like I get sent stuff all the time, especially and it seemed like there was a new beard oil every week, and some of it I wouldn't oil my deck with, like it's.
Yeah, it's bad.
Veranda. Sorry, what I don't know what it's called in America. But
he means veranda, not what you what you might have understood him to say.
But like, yeah. So it's, and I found that it's a really delicate balance to get right. Like it's like a lot of colognes and stuff. A lot of it can smell like
very
rancid.
easy to do wrong.
Yeah. So I teamed up with Captain Fawcett, who. The photographer was using his stuff for all of the pictures that we were doing. And he, as part of the $1 million beard thing, he was like, well, why don't we make an oil? And we made the $1 million beard oil, and it's got 23 karat gold flakes in it.
Really?
Which you kind of put in your hand and rub together and they disappear. So it doesn't make glitter in your beard. But it's apparently... what the royalty in Egypt used to use gold as part of their like beauty treatment. Anyway, if you can end up building pyramids, you can thank me later. But
I did see a picture of you with a gold beard though.
Yeah.
That thing was epic. Like you were full on gold, bro.
Yeah.
How hard was that? I mean, did they just like get you spray paint? Like,
oh, there was like 23 different types of makeup. There was this guy that flew over from Spain for this other gig, and we managed to lock him in while the photographer was in town. And we had this super famous Aussie actor getting his photo taken at the same time, swearing his head off. I've never heard anyone swear as good as this bloke. Anyway, I'm like getting painted with this gold, like all this gold. Mate, yeah, it was incredible. That's very cool. But I didn't die like in Goldfinger. No, what was that James Bond one? Anyway, yeah. My skin could breathe. But yeah, but this beard oil is incredible, and it's got a great luster, and it doesn't have a stink. Yeah. And it's really, really healthy for your skin as well. Yeah. And it's got frankincense in it, which I think has like anti-cancer qualities or whatever. But like, it's epic. So
it was good enough for the wise men to bring to Jesus, and I think it's probably good enough for us. That's good.
Exactly.
So you've got a lot going on. I love the fact that there's like super stealthy things going on that are right on the cusp. It makes me so happy for you. But what's next for you, man? Like it's summertime, so we're not in the heart of beard season. Yeah. But you're still getting this hustle on. Like, what's next for you in the beard season?
Well, yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, we'd love to be able to bring this to America. I don't think this winter we're not registered charity, but people can still take part. Yeah. And you're definitely welcome to sign up as an ambassador on beardseason.com, and we need to redo our website and everything over the next few months. But yeah, we'd love to. Basically, my goal is sell my beard, take it off in one piece, put it in a glass case as a trophy, award it to the person who jumps on board, and then use that kind of pool of money to basically set us up properly online, get our whole platform working really, really tight, get a board, and then also put together our kind of program, the Skin Check program, and have that up and running. So next year is a massive year in Australia, and we know exactly how it runs, what our faults are, and what we're excelling in, and then basically maybe do a soft launch for America next winter. This time next year, and then England as well, and then see if we can just keep on building on that. But yeah, and I've just started full time in this now, so it's been awesome to be able to have proper time to be able to do everything. And yeah, I think social media and tech has been really amazing for us. Beard Season's basically grown on the one-on-one conversation of someone saying nice beard, you telling them it could save their life, and then getting a photo and sharing that to socials, naturally socials, because you'll find out about it, tell your friends.
Spheres of influence, yeah.
And I'd love to be able to work on how we can amplify that, or how we can have a record of all the people who had a skin check, or it's an interesting challenge.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool, man. So one, I'll say this: the Big Data Beard team has all signed up, and we are now officially Beard Season ambassadors. So we'll be adding you to our very short list of charities that we're big fans of. Yep. And so we're super appreciative of you spending time with us. Now, one thing that we do on every show is that we kind of end with just a couple of questions that are called our rapid fire questions. Yep. And so clearly we think you're interesting. Your campaign is awesome, and saving lives with beards is, I mean, how much better does it get than that?
Oh,
but
after this, lay
it on me. Oh, go.
Now?
Yeah, get it.
Okay, this one might be good for your audience.
Okay, I love it.
So, you deal with data encryption and blockchain and all that kind of stuff, is that right? Okay, so one idea we had for the $1 million beard was, what if we did beard coin? Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Now, if you're still listening, basically you buy a beard coin. Let's say there's 33,000 average hairs in a man's beard. Let's say so there's a limited number, and I think that's how it works with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then we sell them at $100 a hair.
Yeah.
And that's about 1 or 2 skin checks, I think we worked out. So you buy a hair, and it guarantees a skin check or 2 skin checks for someone. So you're already kind of good. You feel good about that purchase. But it's DNA encrypted limited edition purchase.
What's the idea of the blockchain, right? Is it?
Yeah, and you can buy. So let's say someone buys 20,000 and then sell. Like we create a beard coin, and because there's only a limited amount, the end result of that is we could keep selling. Shit, I don't know how this works.
You could resell. So like then the value of it is once you've
you could actually make money on your donation.
Yeah. Well, I was actually thinking the flip side of it is if it's less about the donation, what if you could, when somebody buys it from you, that money is re-entered into the original kind of purchase bucket, which means like if I have 1 Bitcoin or beard coin, excuse me, if I have 1 beard coin, I can sell 1/10 of my beard coin or transfer 1/10 of my beard coin to a friend. Yeah. And that he, then it's kind of ostensibly me buying it or he buys it for me or whatever. Yeah. But then you could use that as a tracker of how are you influencing
how many people are influenced.
And you could have a multiplier of the money back into the system. So if you have 33,000 people that pay $100 first, great, you've got that bucket of money. Yeah. But then how could you make that money like every individual beard coin could be parsed into smaller integers, right?
Yes.
Like so, like 10% of a beard coin,
a fraction of the hair.
And if you're, you are trying to go to a global kind of reach. Well, that's the beauty of these technologies that underpower like Bitcoin and others. Their cryptocurrency kind of this blockchain that they use. It's actually a distributed ledger, so you could have that ledger acting in every part of the world. Yeah, and it's globally like consistent.
So everyone that buys a beard coin could help power the system. Is that
this is actually one of the, and so I'm not. I'll be perfectly candid. I am not a.
I haven't talked to anyone else about this.
So
you guys,
we might be some good partners for you on this, and I know some of our listeners. I have a couple of them in particular. I think are going to latch onto this and are going to probably call you and want to talk. Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of. Like I shouldn't say I'm not a big fan.
Big fan of.
I'm not as bullish on blockchain technology in the enterprise as a lot of people are. It's cool for what it's for cryptocurrency, but it's struggled to find its adoption. This is one where I'm like, no, that makes sense. Like I actually believe in that. Now. Yeah. So all right. So now you just gave us a science project. Yeah. Well, that's the
bio encryption.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, see, but then we're getting privacy laws, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. But I like it though. Beard to sign
I like I like where that's going though.
Yeah, that's just a little
genius.
Yeah, I figured maybe you'd know a lot more about it.
Okay, we're going to tinker. You just gave us a tinkering project, my friend. Maybe that'll be our big donation back to the beard season movement. We'll be your technology
could actually
advisors.
Make money on it.
Find the people who can help us build beard coin.
Yeah.
I was thinking we just do good with helping with a website redesign, but beard coin.
Beard coin. This is like full on nerd stuff.
Aiming for the stars.
We definitely need the website redesign.
I dig that.
Yeah, that'll come.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into rapid fire. So rapid fire questions are just like, fun personal questions that we obviously found you interesting, so we had the chat, but we want to find like some more personal stuff to guide people on maybe what they should be interested in. So, what is the last great book that you read that you'd recommend to our listeners?
Ooh. Can I have 2 answers?
You may.
Okay. So, I read this ages ago, but it's called The Eight. And it's a book about chess, actually. But it goes way back into the history of the Knights Templar and stuff. It's really interesting.
Really?
Super interesting book. Mathematics as well, so the data nerds would love it.
The highest order, yeah.
But a book I read most recently, I just read Elon Musk's biography.
Okay.
Biography.
Interesting cat.
So good. Yeah. I love his tenacity. He's basically just he doesn't fuck around. He just needs to get it done. He's like, I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. And I think the underlying message of that is like you don't wait for anyone.
Nope.
Just get it done.
Follow it. Follow your brain. Follow
and
your
I think
heart.
we need that more and more as people become so disenfranchised with politics and the people in charge.
Yeah.
There's an inverted commas in front around that.
Yeah.
But because they're not, and we need to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So if you were walking on stage to talk to somebody or present or play a sport, what would your walk-on song be? The song that plays in the background as you're walking on stage.
Fuck, I know this, but no.
It's okay.
Well, everyone's going to say "Eye of the Tiger."
That is the classic.
But no.
See, mine would be. I've been rocking Drake lately, so mine would be like Big Rings.
I just saw him in Miami.
Did you?
It was amazing. Yeah, when he had the Ferrari floating above the audience and stuff. It was incredible.
That's insanity.
That thing's a giant balloon.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's not real.
No, it's a balloon.
I thought
You took the magic away,
I'm
Kyle.
sorry. Yeah.
but yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
Well, maybe we should say ZZ Top because Sharp Dressed Man because
that's
because
good.
you really want ZZ Top to come along and write you a theme song.
Yes,
we need to pick that probably.
ZZ Top, definitely. I know you're listening.
You are a Sharp Dressed Man, so that's fitting. So, what piece of technology is currently making your life worse?
Worse. Ooh. Probably my phone. It's probably giving me all kinds of bad things in my brain. And it has been hard to kind of balance your time. Yeah. And I find I've got one rule on Facebook or Instagram. If you come across a post that you've already seen before, get out. Like people just end up in this scroll zombie state. And it's horrible. Especially with young kids and stuff, like just been weaned, like basically living off a screen. It's pretty hectic. So I do like being in real life.
Yeah, I know.
And it's becoming more and more of a horrible thing.
It's hard. And actually, I was really disappointed in myself whenever iOS started doing that like screen time assessment. Have you seen that where it'll tell you how much screen time you're using per day? So like on your phone, it tells you like you were on the phone for like 3 hours today, and I'm like, dude, that is a long time. I didn't even think I was on the phone. Yeah, like. And then one day it was like 4 hours. And I'm like, well, I was on a plane a bunch. So like, do I feel good about it? But it just made me super introspective about it. So I agree. Like the phone is not. I don't think it's good for kids.
It's a great tool and it's amazing
when it's used correctly.
Yeah,
it's the most wonderful crutch you can have.
But it is. It's the piece of technology making your life worse. So, what is your current biggest personal money pit?
Oh shit! Probably beard season.
I thought that might be true.
Yeah. Nah, like it's been hard fueling this whole thing, and it takes so much time. And which is kind of why I need to just reach this milestone because it's
beard season,
massive. But probably travel, which isn't a pit. It's kind of like a fuel. I love traveling.
Yeah.
And I've been on some amazing surf trips lately, and a ski trip a couple of years ago to Japan, and travel's the best.
You know, that's one thing. We were talking about that the other night with some friends, and it was like nobody ever gets to their last moment in life and is like, I traveled too much. I really wish I wouldn't have traveled so much.
Yeah,
that's not ever something somebody says. So I don't think it's a bad thing. It's a good one. So, but in travel, you're probably spending a lot of time on airplanes, sitting around. What sort of show are you binge watching these days, or like if you get a chance to, what do you really dig into?
I actually, on the plane on the way back from New York, I did watch all of the Avengers series.
Oh yeah, buddy, you say that proudly. Delightful.
I made a rule with my wife where we only watch Marvel movies on airplanes.
Yeah,
we reserve
that's a good rule
because they're great airplane movies.
It's true.
I can't stand. Yeah, it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. I was just sick of I'm sick of remakes, and I'm sick of rolling out like all those cartoon kind of movies. Like
the only thing
no one's making anything new or like it's all recycled, and like it really annoys me. But I do love Bond.
Yeah.
Love Bond.
Classic. So in your travels, you got to be going somewhere interesting soon. What's the next really interesting place you're going?
I'm actually going tomorrow Friday to the Gold Coast.
Okay.
In
Beautiful
Australia.
place.
We're hosting an event there, and then I'm flying back for a meeting, hopefully about getting rid of my beard on Tuesday, and then going up to Byron for a few days with my girlfriend.
Good.
Just to clock off and relax. And she's having a job change, so it's a bit of a reset for her. And
Good.
Byron's lovely, and hopefully going to do some surfing and catching up. Yeah,
Sweet,
on life. Yeah.
That's good, brother. So how do people keep up with you on social media? What are the best places to follow you?
Yeah, Instagram is our biggest thing. Just beard season, if you search for that. We got a blue tick the other day.
I saw that.
I know.
That's incredible.
It was awesome.
Did you have to actively like seek that out?
No, it was like it came as a massive surprise. And it's kind of good because one thing I've actually found, and if anyone out there might be able to help with this, there's so many beard things that like anyone that follows us ends up getting followed by all these bots and like messaged to buy this like cheap knockoff beard balm or some shit t-shirt thing, and bots are like drowning our actual audience at the moment. Like we've lost a few thousand people.
Really?
I reckon through trolls, like not trolls, but like beard bots, and or any kind of bots. And Instagram's kind of, it's weird. It's changed a lot in the last couple of years. The algorithm really screwed us up. We were getting 2,500 likes average a post. We're down to we're lucky to get 200 now. It's crazy.
Really?
So to get the blue tick is good. I think it's a good like sign, and like I kind of don't pay any attention to like I'm not addicted to likes or anything. I just want results I just want people getting checks, and the more people that get checks because of us, the better. So that's our main kind of KPI.
Yeah.
But
That's the important thing.
And we're on Facebook and Twitter a little bit as well, but mainly Instagram.
Well, Jimmy, this has been a lot of fun. I want to encourage our listeners to, one, follow you on social media, but join the movement, right?
Yeah.
Grow the beard. It's wintertime in the U.S. and the Northern Hemisphere. Grow your beard.
Yeah.
When people ask you about it, ask them last time they got their skin check and help fight this awful, awful disease.
Yeah.
Thanks so
and
much
get
for
a check yourself.
Yeah, get a check.
Have you guys had one?
Absolutely.
You have? Oh,
Yeah.
you've had one?
I had one. I found it was about... This was the one there I got after I found beard season.
Yeah.
I found this little spot that my barber found, and he was giving me a shave on the neck, and he kind of nicked it, and he was like, "Hey man, like you got something there," and I was like, "Okay, I'll check it out." Well, it didn't get healed up, and so I went, "Well, that's weird." So I went in and I got a skin check after. Anyways, I went and they had to end up like going in and cutting like a spot out. It ended up being nothing to be concerned about, which is great. Yeah, they sent it off for the testing. It went great.
That's good.
And so this was actually about this time last year.
And
then I had a check in. I went back like 3 months later just to do the heal up and stuff. And then I'm booked for my next check the third week of December. I got the text actually on the way to Australia.
Nice.
I got the text that they had automatically booked my like every 6 month appointment with my dermatologist. Good. So I'm on it, bro. I'm getting checked. And it's not that bad.
I'm due for one. I just realized it. Yeah, last October was my last one. So I need a new doctor in the area, so I'll hit you up a little later and
that's awesome.
We'll get scheduled.
Yeah, Kyle, the local guy now.
I know. I don't know where to go now.
That's right. Well, Jimmy, this has been super fun, man.
Thanks so much, guys.
I hope you have some great success
as well, I must say. Very good.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
You have no idea what that just did for my soul.
Day made.
That's right. Well, Jimmy, thanks again for being on the Big Data Beard podcast, buddy.
Cheers. You. Awesome, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Big Data Beard podcast.